What's up? Everyone here? What's up,
Hi.
guys? Hey, welcome to Coffee Ride with me, DJ Mars Miranda. From Qatar, we have Coach Bayan from Endurance Lab. In Portugal, we have our only Filipino pro cyclist, Paco Ochoa. It's Adriana with me. And tonight, we have actress, triathlete, yoga instructor, and Trek ambassador, the lovely Knox. The lovely
I'm not
Miss
good.
Bubbles Paraiso. Hi, Bob. How are you?
Hi. Hello, everyone.
This is
Hi, Adriana.
Adrian. Say hi. Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
I've met her. But so
Yeah, say
shy.
hi.
Oh, yeah, of course you can hear. Hey, Adriana.
Oh, wait.
You mean DJ Natalia?
Okay.
Oh, DJ Natalia. Okay.
So, family-oriented show tayo today. Kasi dito si
Yes.
Bubbles. So, Bubbles, how are you?
I'm
Thank you
good.
for
I'm good.
thank you for
Sorry.
coming on the
Yeah,
show.
of course. Oh, thank you
I,
so much. I'm pretty daw. Ay,
oh, I thought it
sabi ni
was
Kristen
me.
Agcol.
Hindi ba ako? Ano ba?
Yeah, no, I'm
Balita.
good. I'm back to riding bikes outdoors. So that makes me happy. But of course, for the past, ano na ngayon, September 2, 100 and we've been locked down. And I mean, we just have to live with the virus. So I don't think it's going to be outdoors naman. We just have to be careful. So yeah, I started riding out. It's fun. We can't ride towards the usual places that we used to ride at because all of the checkpoints, but easy 65 kilometers up. Sorry, my cat is there. Up and down, going up mountains. Yeah, I'll take what I can get. So
Oh, for now, no?
I'm good. Yeah, it's just without before we'd ride up and down Tagaytay like 3 times. Now we can't even go straight up towards Tagaytay. We can just go like halfway. So okay lang. At least we can now go halfway. It's not all this.
Oh, naman. I saw you did Amadeo last weekend. Tama ba?
Yeah, I did. I did Amadeo last weekend.
How
That's
was it?
65 kilometers. Oh my gosh! So I haven't been riding out for a while, right? And then I think my last ride going there was an easy ride. And you know naman how chat rooms get. We or sorry, no, I'm gonna rephrase. You know how some guys get. And
Ayan
I
na.
was the only
Okay.
girl.
Ayan na.
And everyone is just like sandbagging, like, yeah, easy ride, easy ride. So of course the first few times, because there were more girls, when you say easy ride, it was really like chill ride. We would really just talk to each other, kwentuhan. When we get to the first pit stop, the first gasoline station, it's been more than an hour or at least like an hour, 5 minutes, like that. And then we usually when we get to the coffee shop, it's been at least like 2 hours or like 2 hours 20 minutes. 2 hours 20 minutes was fast na nga before. Like that was Chica ride. Last Saturday, oh my goodness, low EQ everybody. One, I think it was Kuya Kim. No, it was either Rat or Kuya Kim. So one of them just went for it, and everyone else followed. So I was fasting last weekend, and I had no choice but to also just chase after them. We got to the first stop at 44 minutes, and I just started complaining. I was like, why are we so fast? And they didn't care. They still went for it up until the coffee shop. So it took us an hour and 40 to reach
Wow.
the coffee shop, which is, compared to Paco, that's like super slow. But for someone who hasn't been riding, and then you just make me ride out, I was really just, and we had to wear masks, of course. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we still can breathe. It's just that it's a little bit harder to breathe. So that's a bit challenging. There's so many challenges. At least we don't have to wear face shields while biking. So
Pero
Mhm.
yeah.
how different was it? So okay, face mask, and then after riding indoors for like 4 months. So how's the heat? Marunong ka pa ba magbike? Alam mo yun? Kasi ako to,
Yeah. Oh my
hindi
god.
na, di ba?
Yeah, it's and then I remember it's like riding a bike. That's where it came from. So I would sing like si TJ Gato said, banayad lang naman, 'di ba? Oo, sobrang banayad, my god. Banayad na banayad. Um,
Ayan.
yan ang saying ng mga tito. What was I saying? Yeah, it's just difficult because it's a bit challenging kasi nga there's a mask and after like months of indoor riding. This one, I enjoy it more. I stopped Zwifting at around May, start of May,
Oh, wow.
because I was just like I was over it. Because I was Zwifting. I started Zwifting 2018. It was my secret training. That's why I had a different name before on Zwift. I'll say it now because I changed my name now. My Zwift name used to be Hangry Bird. And nobody knew that it was me. Because I would train on Zwift, like every weekend I'd be there for 5 hours, and then the next day I'm gonna be out in the valley like that. So I was literally secret training all the time, so nobody knew that I was on Zwift.
Sandbaggers, ha? Let's talk about sand.
Diba, like people don't see me outdoors. It's like, I don't train kasi yun pala sa Zwift lang. But and then when the lockdown happened, everyone was like, why is your level so high? And I had to admit that. Or people are like, why is that your name? So, Lita Vicencio, she made us all eat her dust in GFNY Iloilo. Hi,
Now,
Lita.
now you know why. Because she has secret training during the week with a different name on Zwift.
Yeah, so when May happened and at the start of the lockdown, I was riding 7 hours on my bike indoors. 7 hours, 6 hours, crazy. I'd be eating lunch while on the bike. So one day I was just like, okay, I'm over it. I don't want to bike anymore, at least indoors. And then that the moment that they allowed biking outdoors, or like even if it's just around BGC, if we can only go like 13 kilometers per hour, I didn't care. I was happy. I cried. I was telling my coach, no, really, I was telling my coach, my first ride when I got out of the garage of my condo, the first 100 meters, I was like, oh my god. I really cried, guys. Don't laugh at me. It's really true. It was such an emotional thing. Because I love biking so much.
Pero Bob, is it harder like the heat, like if you're outside? Kasi syempre hindi ka naaarawan indoors. Tapos, is it difficult to get back into riding your bike outside? Or hindi naman? It comes back
No
then.
naman. No naman. In terms of heat, I don't really I don't really turn on my aircon at home.
Okay.
So my electricity bill is so low, guys. I don't really turn the aircon at home. So
Pro tip.
pro tip. So that's why the heat doesn't really bother me, and I think that's what helps also when I race.
True.
I actually don't like aircon so much. So if I'm at the derma and there's a private room, I even ask them to turn off the aircon. I'm ginawin because lang fat joke.
Hala.
Wala si
Oh, wait. We'll wait for Bubbles to get back. So, kayo, Coach, how are you guys?
Okay
There,
naman.
hello.
Yeah, there's
Ayan.
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 Sorry, everyone just disappeared. So yeah, what do you call this? It was perfect weather last Sunday. So it was cloudy and then it kind of rained a
Mhm.
Rex. Medyo may
Mhm.
technical difficulties tayo, guys. Ayan, coach. So, kamusta kayo, guys?
Okay lang. Okay lang. Ito preps for
Ayan,
class.
si Bubbles.
Yeah, it keeps on cutting. Okay, what's happening to my internet? It's full bars. Okay. So yeah, it was perfect weather last weekend. So
Oh, wait, Bob. Matanong ko lang. Kasi
mm,
to si Bubbles, matagal na tayo magkakilala, di ba? I've known you since,
hindi
like, before.
naman. Since I was 16.
Oo,
God.
16 ka. So, parang ano nangyari? One day, we're I see you at the club every night, ganyan-ganyan po. Gumigimik tayo gabi-gabi, nakikita ka sa gamikan.
Uh,
Then one day, I check my social media, I'm like, I'm doing a triathlon. Parang, okay, saan ang galing yun? Parang how did you get into it? Parang from party girl
some party girl.
to triathlon. And paano nag-shift?
But remember, sometimes you'd see me in the club, and then the next day you're gonna see my stories. I'm still
Oo,
riding.
yun din. Sa pa yun. So, paano nga?
No, but I go home early naman. I met Kuya Kim. I think that's one of the reasons. But it's really like a lot of factors. And I always name him your other neighbor, Vic.
Okay.
So before this all started, I was in Bali. I was doing my yoga teacher training, or even before pa. Actually, yeah, before pa, and he would always bug me. He was always like, "Bob, let's become triathletes." And I would, you was enthusiastic. He's like, "Let's become triathletes. Come on, let's train." And that time, I didn't know how to swim. I hated running, and last time I rode the bike, I think I was 12. So, nothing talaga. Although I love
Sakto pala.
oo.
Sakto.
Try talaga.
Perfect.
I was made for try, guys. But when I was younger, when I was still playing tennis, I remember I would steal my brother's mountain bike. And then when my sundo comes to take me to the tennis court, I would steal my brother's bike and tell the car, I'll just follow you. Because my brother's watching, mahuhuli ako. So I just follow the car, and I'm that little girl in a tennis skirt in the blue mountain bike. I still remember the bike. So yeah, and then sometimes my brother would just see the bike at the tennis court. It's like, why is it here? So yeah, so I loved biking as a child, and I would be that girl who would bike in her lacy socks and her party dress. That was me. Like, I was always a tomboy, but also girly girl, if there's such a thing. So yeah, so I was always like that. And then from partying, yeah, one day, I was already a yoga teacher. I was just invited to go run in Polo Club. And then I met Kuya Kim and all of the other triathletes. And then I started running with them. After that, they would talk about going to Nuvali. And that time, for me, because Nuvali is Laguna, right? So when you
Yeah.
say Nuvali, for me, that's out of town. So they kept talking about, like, okay, let's go to Nuvali. So I was like, how come you don't invite me when you guys go out of town? Are we not close enough? Like, I'm with you guys 3 times a week. And then they're like, no, because we bike. You have a bike? Tara, bike with us. I'm like, no, I don't. Sige, I'll get one. So I just went over to Trek. So from the very beginning, Trek na talaga. So I walked over to Trek, and I was like, okay, I want a bike. So, and that was the start of it all.
So what was your
That's it.
first bike? Ano yung first
the
bike
Trek,
mo?
the Trek Emonda SL5.
Okay. So
Light
Yeah.
bike.
road
Light bike.
Road bike.
agad.
Road
Yeah,
bike.
road bike.
Road
And then
bike agad.
after that, a few months later, when I started doing duathlons and triathlons, because my first I was still using the road bike, and without any special fancy
Attachments and
With
stuff.
Yeah.
stuff. Nothing fancy.
So walang
nothing
aero ba?
Nothing, as in, like, not even like a bike fit. Um, binato lang ako dyan, ganyan. Yeah, and then after that, I got the Trek Speed Concept, the green one. It was the 2017 model, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one. And then now it's I'm using the Tremonda SL, and then the Project One for the Speed Concept. Nag-upgrade tayo in life.
Ayun. So do you have, sige, let's talk about your bike since we're talking about it. Do you have a photo of Bubbles' bike? We do, no?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which bike is this? Is this my
The new
bike
one.
or my?
Yeah. Your dry bike.
The
Kasi,
Oh, okay.
kasi I remember, there was this one night we were messaging and you were like, hey,
Yeah.
Trek's giving me a Project One bike. So Project
Yeah.
One is Trek's custom bike program that you can design your
Yes.
bike, pick your colors, pick
Yep.
the components. So I remember we were messaging that night, should I get this? Should I get this? What color should I get? So okay, what made
Yeah.
you finally decide to get this setup
This
for your
colorway.
speed
Because my
concept?
favorite color is pink. So, but I didn't want it to be too pink, wherein it's screaming like it's a girly, too girly. So I just wanted the label, the branding to be pink, and then
Okay.
I loved this the base, the body. What is it called? The frame.
The frame.
The main frame.
Love it.
The main frame. It's like a game for me. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm not a bit, ha. It's just that it's not my language. Okay, it's not about fashion game. So the frame, the paint of that. So if you look at this picture that's posted now, it's blue, and then the other photo earlier it looked gray. So
Okay.
the paint job, yeah, I loved it because it depends on the lighting. I think I forgot the name of I think it's like Pacific something, or electric blue, or I don't know, but it's just I loved how that color is different depending on how the light hits it. So my favorite colors are pink, purple, and blue. So I just made it blue and pink. And then I had the little dots added under the seat post. And yeah, pink other stuff. And then I got the NV, I think it's the 8.8 for the wheels. I'm not so sure. 8.9? 8.9?
8.9. Para aero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Para aero.
Deeper
Right.
ear. Yeah. Deeper ear.
Yeah.
Ganun,
Lester
diba?
Guevara said, Bubs is loyal to Trek even on Zwift. Actually, yes. I am, even on Zwift, I am on Trek Madone on Zwift because it's my dream bike.
So that means you're like a level 20 something already for those who don't know about your secret training. So you're level 22
I'm on level
na.
32, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Level 30. Kalabasan.
So hindi daw siya nagsuswift pero level 32 na siya. Huli ka tuloy.
I know. Everyone bigla kept on adding me na, and then people would ask why I have a different name. So I had to change it to my real name now because cat is out of the bag. And I am on Zwift. And then after that, everyone was on Zwift. So I was like, okay, I don't want it anymore. Everyone's doing it.
So how fun was it designing your own bike and what was the process like? So okay, yung colors you said it na, pero like the stuff on it. Syempre.
Okay, so again, because I'm not fluent in bike,
Yeah.
like I don't know the parts. Like the cog set, alam ko. I was calling the cog set Christmas tree for the longest time because when I bought for my road bike, I bought the 32s for easier
Okay.
climbing. And I was just telling my coach, I want to buy that Christmas tree. So, I'm really pobre
At least
talaga.
gets nila.
Yeah.
Coach Paolo. Coach Paolo ba?
Yeah. Yes, Coach Paolo. So yeah, as I was designing my bike, it was really Coach Paolo who helped me because again, so he helps actually all of his students. He helps all of them whenever we're so most of his students are now on Trek Project One. I wonder why.
Nice.
um, and he helped us choose for for all of the specs because I'm not well versed in bike. So it's just really like, Coach, do I need this? Coach, I'm that good. Like, Coach, I need this. Coach, how about this one? Coach, how about this? How about this? Like that. Yeah. So that, and then Raul also, Coach Raul Floresca would help me out. Like we would sit down at a coffee shop and like geek out on.
Ako, marami
Ian
na rin matulungan
Lino.
si Coach.
Oo, Ian Lino wants to make a shout out as if
Hello,
he's not
Ian
my friend.
Lino. Yes. Lakas din niya. Ayan, no? I remember nakita ko si Miss Bubble sa Odax. Grabe, ang lakas niya. O, yun, no?
Oh my gosh,
Lakas
okay. Can I just share before the whole lockdown, my last outdoor ride was Odax Bataan.
Oh, wow. Sakit.
Damn. Dude, 50 finishers. I'm happy to say I'm one of the 50. But my God,
Nice.
I've never felt so broken in a ride. At some point, I just wanted to cry. Broken.
Broken is the correct term.
Broken is the word. Like, I wanted to give up so many times, but I paid for the medal, so I wanted to make sure I had the medal.
Ganyan na Odax, yeah. Yung iba, they call it broken, yung iba they call it brutal. So like for example, Rizal is a brutal. It's one of the toughest, definitely. So it's a brutal Odax, right? Or kami like usually with the guys, like shout out sa mga Endurance Lab PH cycling team, and of course formerly it's Active Health. Definitely we have done talking about Odax, kasama namin si Paco and others. Like they call this Subic. So Subic is it's always a new experience, alam mo.
Yeah.
Yep. And Bataan is a tough one. It's parang deceiving yung papunta kasi rolling siya but pabalik terrible.
Okay. I think at this point mas pipiliin mo yung Bataan Odax kaysa mag-Zwift ng
Oo naman. Oo naman.
Kisa Rizal, yeah. No, the thing is we were the Odax Bataan was a bit biglaan. Because so Coach Pao was gonna do it, and our friend Aris Kahukom, who is another Mamau, was going to do it. So me and my friend Tip, who is a super rider and a newbie triathlete, again FOMO. So we're like, Coach, sama kami, and we just said it the night before. We didn't know what to expect. Yeah, we didn't know what to expect. So the two Mamaus had to babysit us, and really just ride beside us the whole time. And we were just dying. My God.
Pero speaking of biglaan din, because I've done a few rides with you, yung mga ride nyo parang hapon na natatapos eh. I see yung parang pagdating sa meetup, saan tayo? Parang walang plano. Tapos, tara, ganito. Tapos next thing you know, hapon na.
Yeah. I'm notorious, pinaka-notorious dyan is Pat Hoson, Coach Pat.
Yeah,
Especially if I see him at the parking lot. Oh my gosh, beware! Because so we ride and then, spontaneous like that. And you've been in one. We just make sure that, parang tanungan lang, ano gagawin nung mamaya. If we say that we're free the whole day, then it means we can just ride wherever the wind takes us.
Sarap.
And then come back when we feel like it.
Kasi minsan, kunyari, if I'm not riding with you guys, I'll see you at the parking lot and then we'll all do our rides. Pagdating ko sa bahay, nakaligo na ako, nakakain na ako, nag-grocery na ako. Pag-check ko sa phone, sa feed ko, nagra-ride pa rin kayo eh. Hindi pa sila tapos. Nasa labas kasi ang dami ko na nagawa. Nagra-ride pa rin kayo, 'di ba? Ganun sila mag-ride. Tas walang they don't tell you. Do they tell you where you guys are going or wala lang? Sunod lang tas bahala na.
I have no choice but just to follow because I'm really bad with directions. So I just have to follow wherever they're going. I can't, even if I want to turn around and go home, I don't know. Guys, I'm the girl who got lost in Odax Subic.
What?
That's so
Pabalik.
like,
Bahay
diba?
after ng cemetery, you went
Yup.
straight.
Dun sa parang
Instead of
4,
turning right.
apparently you have to turn right. So I went to the left because I just went straight. So that's an extra 12 kilometers. So, yeah.
Ang bayan yun eh.
So I totaled 224 kilometers that ride.
Kulang pa kay Bubble.
Kulang kasi.
Kulang.
Sinulit ko yung bayad, guys. By the time I hit 209, I found new friends who adopted me just because I was just like, guys, I don't know where to go. So they adopted me. And by the time we hit 209, I was like, I'm supposed to be done.
So do you use the Audax and like the fondos like yung GFNY for your training? It's part of your training. What's your training?
It's part of my training.
So what's your training on a normal in the old life, in the past life? What was?
Okay. Oh my God, magkakalabasan na. Oh my gosh.
So Bubbles friends, eto na.
I don't wanna admit. Okay, so for an Ironman 70.3, I would train 16 to 20 hours a week.
Wow.
That's swim, bike, and run.
Wow.
Yeah. So for a 70.3, I do 120K, 150K for bike rides, 200 because I would join the people who are training for a full Ironman. Just because I love biking. So even if my program just says 100, sometimes I'm like, bike pa kayo? Sige, sama na ako. So I just join them. So and then we join yung mga fun runs, like the half marathon. And so we would join that also as part of training for fun. Now I run 5K and I am exhausted and I'm like, I can't believe I would run 21K for the heck of it and I would call it fun. So it's so different. But yeah, that was how I would train. I'd be swimming for at least 2 hours. And then, so that's without the whole showering and getting ready. And then and then may yoga pa. So it's all, it's really a lot of training. That's why I stopped having a social life. That's why I stopped partying because of that. Diba? So at least it got me out of the club. But
True.
I did train. Sometimes I'd still like go out and oh my God, I remember one time I went out. I was with sila Jason. And then I got home medyo late na and then the next day I had a 130-kilometer bike ride. I was semi-dying. So yeah. So it's
Gets
really one or the other. Diba? It's either you party or you but now like wine is fine.
Ayan. Coffee ride with wine.
I'm sorry, coffee pala dapat.
Go
Should I
lang.
put it here to pretend?
Teka, speaking of yoga naman.
Guys.
Punta naman tayo sa yoga since you're a yoga instructor also. How does it factor into your how does it help in your training and your riding or
a lot of people ask me this also and what do you call this? Lito Vicencio, our training for GFNY Iloilo was 20 pictures per kilometer.
Bagong
Wait,
PR yan.
our deal kasi also, while we were doing GFNY, we're like, okay, my easy pace, let's do 10 pictures per kilometer. But everyone just went for it. So I was like, okay, so I just gunned it. And I was with their group. I was with Lalita. And I was like, come on, guys, come on, guys. And then every water station, at first we had like a 5 minute break. And then this water station, I just told them, I was like, no, let's go now. Because I had a flight the same day, so I kind of had to go back to the hotel, pack up my bike, go to the airport. So I trust them. Sorry, Dito. So anyway, yeah, back to yoga. A lot of people don't know how important yoga is in terms of whether it's cycling or all of the other sports, and only a few are realizing its benefits now. So with yoga, so it's not just stretching and it's not just doing handstands or whatever you see me post on social media. Those are just it's not just about that. So, and aside from the whole meditation aspect, so in terms of mobility, so when you're biking, if your hips are tight, then you won't be able to go on the proper aero position. Your core has a different activation whenever you're biking as well. When you brake, when you turn, when you balance. So there are so many things consider, and yoga helps that because yoga does not just target the superficial abs, like how some people like they have abs but they're weak, so because it's the superficial abs that is being targeted. So it really targets the inner core, the inner part, the deeper muscles, and with that then you get to run better, you get to bike better. And since, again, with yoga, you have to focus on your breath, it's really a lot of breath work. It's focusing on how the breath is super connected to your body, how every time you move, it's connected to the breath. How if you lose your focus on the breath, then you will fall, or the pose will just, you won't be able to do the pose properly. So in terms of putting that into cycling or into running or into whatever sport, again, sometimes when we're pushing, and I think Paco, you know this also, when you're pushing hard, sometimes you're like, like really just out of breath, right? And I would catch myself also when I'm running, and I start to just start to kind of hyperventilate, or in the almost about to hyperventilate. And when I catch myself, then I remind myself to breathe slow so that the breath is deeper, and with that, even the heart rate gets to slow down a little bit. And with that, you get to control and be able to push a little bit harder. So that is all because of the yoga. So sometimes people are like, wow, you're pushing hard, but you're still smiling, because I'm just trying to breathe in. I'm doing breath work as I'm racing. So it's really, that's why it helps. Just pakapakwik daw yung abs mo, Sol. Litaw na litaw.
It's the low body fat actually, not really.
Ayan, si Alex Araneta. The titos need to schedule our yoga session. Ayan.
Yeah, I bumped into them the other day, and they saw me running. They were biking. Yeah, they want to schedule a yoga session. They did a yoga session with me before, right after biking, and they all died and hate me for it. So now they want to do it again. But
it's hard. It's not easy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not as easy as people think. But that's the thing with yoga. You able to practice yoga. So a lot of people say this to me, They're like, when I say, why don't you practice yoga? Hindi, I'll work on my flexibility first, tapos yoga tayo. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. So a lot of people are gonna say, I'm not flexible, so I can't practice yoga. So, whenever you say this statement, I'm not flexible, therefore I cannot practice yoga, it's the same as saying, I'm very dirty, so I cannot take a shower.
Oh.
So, diba? Like, all the more you need it. Yeah. So, I mean, so again, you see my pose, I'm in a split, I'm touching my toes, my feet are wherever, I'm doing a split on the stairs. You don't have to be able to do that. That's like how many years of practice. If you can't touch your toes, you can modify. You can bend your knees. You can just touch your shin. So with the yoga practice, you always want the pose to adjust to you and not you adjusting to the pose. So if there is a certain, yeah. So if the teacher
Mm.
calls out for a certain pose and she looks, she looks one way, you don't have to look like how she's doing it.
Mhm.
You can always do modifications. Especially when I teach, I always work from the ground up. So it's always, okay, do this first. If you're okay there, stay. But if your body is a bit more open or a bit more flexible, do this. So we just kind of walk through starting from point A to point C to point E. So if your body is tight, then stay at the modification, stay at point A. If your body is a bit open today, stay in point B. But if you tried point B and your body says no, or if it's painful, then your body, or if your body is signaling you to say no, do this, then step A, because there's always room for improvement, and you don't have to be the best yogi. It's this is the only time that it's non-competitive. There's no judgment. So if your body doesn't allow to do a certain pose or it's not yet available, then it's okay. You can, there's so much room to grow. There's so much space that you can create in your body. So yeah, and it's amazing. The yoga practice is amazing because you get to see your progress also. It's not gonna happen overnight, but once you see the progress, it's amazing.
Yeah, and speaking of competitive, how
Ah,
competitive are you? Since I'm sure like 90% of the time you ride with guys. Well, there's, di ba, you ride with guys.
yeah.
How quickly do you become triggered? Like if someone goes for it, ganun like, di ba, parang, ba yan,
Instant.
Yeah.
tara.
For
Instant ba
okay,
siya? Or,
if it's training, oh my god, lumalabas lahat ng secrets ko. If it's
ayan,
training, I don't
magkaalaman na.
get competitive. Yeah, because if it's training, you have nothing to prove when it's training, right? So you know
Yeah.
how like if other people are gonna post their, and someone asked me this before. They said, how come you don't show your time when you train? Like if I say like I did 15K today or I did whatever, I cover the time. And people would always ask me why I cover it, and I say because there's nothing to prove. Why am I gonna know how fast or how slow I went? I don't want to show people, and also because I don't want to show my competitors how fast or slow I am. So
Yun.
it's a
So,
big question mark. Like, is she fast? Is she slow? No. So
so
yeah, but when it's racing, that's when I get really competitive. Like if a girl overtakes me, and if I know she's not Ines or Jaylene Balatibat or Ayan Banzon, like these strong girls. So if someone overtakes me and I'm just like, sino to? I get I get irked, and I really just push until I overtake that girl and make sure that she does not chase me and that she does not catch me.
yun.
So that's but if like one race, there was this one race, I was like, okay, biking, and then Jaylene overtook me, and I looked over. So I always check out who overtakes me. So I check out the number and the name because I have this tendency to check the start list and memorize. Artista ako.
Wow.
Magaling ako mag-memorize.
So in
Sis,
short,
Right?
competitive.
competitive.
Yes.
Sobra palang competitive.
Oh my god! Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, it's all for the fun of it. But my God, I used to compete in tennis, so I really grew up as as a competitive person. So, my gosh,
What if it's a normal like ride up a day? Yung normal ride daw, not for training. It's like if a group passes you and you're like, do I chase
yeah.
these guys and check them or
No,
do I
no. If a group passes me, it's okay. Bye. It's like that.
So,
Or,
pinipili mo
yeah.
naman. Hindi naman
Pinipili ko
forever.
naman, oo.
Hindi naman
Or-
siya forever
or-
competitive.
Oo. Especially like a ride like that, like Amadeo, it's just supposed to be fun. So, if you overtake me, then okay. I don't want to be so laspag because I usually have another workout after. So I don't want to be too laspag when I do my second or third
So, is this your
workout.
other workout? From John De Bulos. Sumusolo swim yan sa open water training sa Subic. Ang lakas. Ayan, lumalabas yung mga secret training mo. Ano ba
Oh
to?
my gosh, I think someone spotted me. No, because after Audax, after one of the Audax, I think this was like January. So I stayed in Subic for a few days. So after Audax, the next day, I went to All Hands to do an open water swim. And then I ran like 17 kilometers
Yeah.
at training. This is
Yung
right after
episode-
an Audax.
Yung episode pala natin today, laglag si Bubbles. Ilaglag lahat ng secrets ni Bubbles. Kasi ito pa eh, since we're talking about laglagan and we're talking about, we were talking about Sir Raul Floresca earlier. So I
Yes.
mentioned to him that you were coming on the show and he's like, yeah, ask Bubbles about putting on lipstick on the bike during a race. Can you explain your beauty regimen on the bike?
Okay.
Bago to.
Okay. Background. So you know how Raul is sometimes dragged on races, right? So I think it's here. Wait, I think I have one here. Yeah. So Raul is a draft marshal for races, and I always have a lipstick because my lipsticks are like this big. You know how the Trek Speed concept has a speed box on top of the frame. So it's my nutrition and my lipstick that's always there, and I have sunblock in my pocket. So while I'm racing, and of course, guys, there are pictures, diba? So I'm so embarrassed. So one time, Raul was the draft marshal, and I did not know that he was already behind me kasi naka-aero like that. And I decided, I was a bit bored, so I was like, okay, I feel like I'm just gonna put on lipstick. So as I was on aero, I just started doing that as I was naka-aero na like that. And then all of a sudden, I just heard Raul go, Bubs, what are you doing? And I go, I'm not drafting. There are no bikes. And he goes, I know, but what are you doing? I'm like, I'm putting on lipstick. And after that, I never heard the end of it. So, and that's every race, I'm still a girl, guys. I always need my lashes, my nails, and my lipstick. So, I always have lipstick so I have lipstick in the transition area. I have lipstick on my bike, and I always have sunblock on my pocket. So in the middle of the race, I can just whip out my sunblock and spray my sunblock.
Important yan, sunblock.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people tend to not, parang take it, parang brush it off na, it's a short ride lang, or it's not even sunny outside. I don't need to put sunblock.
Yeah, the damage is real. So I just don't wanna. I love being tan, and sunblock doesn't mean you're not gonna get tan. You're still gonna get dark. It just blocks all of the bad stuff from the
bad
sun.
stuff.
So,
I think pwede rin natin i-consider yung sinasabi ni Bubbles sa pag-lipstick, pag-ayos ng itsura. Sa mga races, syempre, gusto mo yung forma mo maayos, di ba? Kasi kapag maayos yung forma mo, maayos yung feeling mo. So,
yes.
Pro tip din yung tingin ko.
Pro tip. Yeah, girls, pro tip.
Coach Sol, ilang watts do we gain with lipstick?
Immeasurable yun, immeasurable.
Aero yun, mas ano ka sa air.
And also, okay, again, I'm gonna sound like such a ditz, but okay, guys, race results are on the internet forever, but so are race pictures.
True.
Right? So, we're so tired, we're so like, haggard na nga. So at least let's look a little bit cute. So hence
Oo.
lipstick. So Coach Sol, Paco, next time, lipstick. This is Happy Skin. It's a local brand. Nice. Kasha sa jersey.
Ayan, girls, if to all the girls that are watching, you don't have to look, you don't have to look haggard every time you raise. Like, you still look
Alice
pretty.
Reblora, lipstick makes us girls cycle faster. See?
Yes.
Oh.
Ale, thank you to Road Bike Pilipinas. Thank you guys for all the support.
Yan Borja, guys are speechless when Boots revealed her lipstick training regimen.
Yeah. Siyempre, kailangan pag race photos sa finish line, kailangan hindi ka naman yung mukhang namatay dun sa race, no? Kahit...
Oo. That's why like every finish line, no matter what, I make sure that I'm smiling. I treat it like if you notice my race, my finish line photos, kala mo girl, lumarampa ako.
Okay. Hey, you earned it.
So,
Uy, pinaghirapan mo yung rampa sa dulo, no?
Oo, kulang.
Diba?
I want to attempt a cartwheel, but I might break something after a race. So, rampa na lang, guys. I think.
Ito pa, isa from Jet Pakapak. Do you bring, wala pa yung wet wipes natin sa sapatos. So, do you bring wet wipes, like wipes in your pocket? I know you, like your pockets are full when we ride. Like,
you know me, yeah, I have wet wipes in my, but it's not in my pocket. It's inside my...
Your box. Your bento.
Bento.
The bag thing. Saddle bag.
Saddle bag.
Sign language tayo. Hindi, si Bubbles, kung makaride mo yan, may power bank. Kompleto yan pag si Bubbles. May power bank sa
aminin mo, Mars, nagutom ka ba nung kasama kita mag-ride?
Ay, hindi. Hindi talaga. Walang gutom pagkasama si Bubbles. Ayan, isa pa yan. Since coffee ride tayo, anong kinakain mo pag coffee ride? Kasi si Bubbles, pagka-ride mo to, siguro mga ilang stops yung kain eh. Hindi lang sa dito, ang dami. Ang daming coffee stop. So, ayan. Ano ang favorite coffee stops mo and what do you order when you get to the coffee stop?
I usually order, depends on where the coffee stop is, but always brewed coffee. Drink my coffee brewed. And then I always have either like a spicy tapa or corned beef.
So,
oh my God, I'm sorry. Hiya ako. Tapa or corned beef. Lamon talaga.
Busog.
Talagang legit na recovery, you refuel also.
Yeah, and then, no, there was this one ride. We went up Laurel. I did not know that we were going to do that. So they said that we were going to eat in Tagaytay. And they just told me to bring money. So this was the Coach Pao. And then when we got to the top, so it was so tiring. They said we were going to eat at a fast food restaurant. And I don't really eat fast food. So I got mad at them. I was like, what? So we ended up eating in like a the Bagoong Club. Bagoong Club. And then, so I ordered like tinapa rice and bagoong rice. And I don't usually eat rice, ha. But for that ride, I ordered bagoong rice and tinapa rice. The tinapa rice I did not share with any of the boys. Yung bagoong rice. And we ordered like, oh my gosh, so many ulam, like from laing to liempo. And we finished it. So yeah, it's, oh my gosh, this is why I love cycling also. I can eat everything and anything that I want.
True.
And still not gain weight. Now that no, there's no more like long rides like that. My God, I'm getting so fat. Anthony Homer, I want to hear Paco speak. Or Paco, go. So quiet.
Meron siya mga counting questions dito eh. Tungkol sa Tour de France, I think, I don't know if, I'm sure may mga nanonood ngayon, ongoing.
Okay.
Sagan, tingin ko. Sagan, always root for the 3-time world champion. Yun yung safest na answer. Pero kung pure sprinter, siguro inform si Caleb Yuan, Sam Bennett.
Just one at the stage.
Mhm. Pero, syempre, Sagan, tingin ko. Sana. Ayun lang.
Gusto ko talaga nag-wine si Bubbles eh. Nag-freeze pa talaga na
Nag-pause
umiinom.
sa pag-inom eh.
Bob, gusto ko yung nag-pause ka habang umiinom ka ng wine eh, panalo. Okay guys, pero grabe to si Bubbles. I remember we did that one ride to Tagaytay. Pag akyat pa lang namin sa ridge, kain na agad. Siko, kakain na agad tayo? Wala pa may isang oras na gira-ride, kain agad. Tapos ride ulit, tapos kain na naman. Tapos, as in, hindi ka magugutom talaga. Solid.
That's why, no, kayo hindi nagugutom, but that's why I was called Hungry Bird. Because I'm always hungry. And when I'm hungry, I start complaining to my coach. I'm always just like, Coach, hungry. And he knows that I have food in my pocket, but the Cliff Bar is not the same as corned beef. So
corned beef is life.
I think yung next ride natin, Mars, dapat kasama si Bubbles para hindi tayo magugutom.
Diba? Or sometimes, hi, Tita Rico Manuel said, go Bubbles. Or sometimes it's a hot day, so I will just say, Coach, I want ice cream. So we have to stop at a convenience store so that I can eat my ice cream. Yun. Madami akong demands. I always need food.
Meron, may ride kami sa East minsan. Parang, nag-stop na tayo to eat. Tapos we rode an extra 10K para lang bumili ng pandesal.
Excuse me, Spanish bread.
Spanish bread. Sabi ko, kumain na kami, akala ko pabalik na. Tapos we still went further. Like, saan naman tayo pupunta? Kumain na tayo Hindi, masarap yung Spanish bread dun sa baba. Siyempre sa baba. So,
akit ka pa ulit.
Akitin mo pa ulit yun para baka
sa baba ng sungay yan, ha?
Grabe. Hindi, share nga grabe yun.
Yeah.
Sampalok?
I really, dun sa may Sampalok na.
Yep.
So, I ride Sampalok for that Spanish bread. You have to understand. It's my motivation to ride there.
Wala ba Spanish bread dyan sa inyo? Wala ba
na lang ni Mars?
Ay, overpriced ang Spanish bread dito. Doon tayo sa 5 pesos lang. Spanish bread here, 35. No,
Sampalok.
Spanish bread here is 35 pesos. Spanish bread there is 5 pesos. So, doon tayo sa 5 pesos.
Pero akit ka ng Sampalok. ang tawag ng mga old school na cyclist dyan sa Sampalok, gawaan ng ube. Kasi sa sobrang tarik niya, para kang gumagawa ng ube sa
ube.
Ayan, merong related question si Anthony Homer. Good tips, nutrition bike as a pro. Tingin ko yung related lang dun sa sinasabi ni Bubbles. Nung first time ako nag-ride dito, may kasama kaming mga world tour na pro riders, mga continental na riders. Tapos, syempre ako parang gusto ko magpa-impress na hindi ako masyadong kakain sa kapihan, tapos kape lang. Pagdating namin sa kapihan, nagulat ako, order sila talagang cappuccino, tigatlo silang kape, tapos may croissant na may chocolate na malalaking size, tapos uupo, magkikwentuhan. So, doon ko na-realize na, okay, ito yung, basta gawin mo yung trabaho, maghihirap ka sa bike, sa ride. Hindi naman siya reward. Kumbaga, parang kung mid-ride siya, sustenance siya energy, di ba? Pero yun lang, yung parang insight lang. Hindi ko alam kung nutritional tips yun. I'm sure si Coach Sol marami pang mas in-depth na tips. Pero yung inside lang na information na nakita ko dito na yung mga world tour riders, parang wala silang pinagkaiba sa normal na nagra-ride na amateur na lumalaban ng 70.3 or sa atin na parang feeling mo kailangan mo mag-lose ng weight tapos di ka kakain, tapos makikita mo parang torture mo yung sarili mo, nakikita mo yung ibang kasama mo hindi kumakain, tapos ikaw nagko-corn beef, yung iba mong kasama hindi kumakain, parang torture sa kanila, di ba? Pero
Sila din pala
sila
nagkakasal.
Oo, pwede ka pala kumain.
so, kaya nung
Pwede
narinig ko
pala.
si Bubbles kanina tungkol sa pagkain, parang okay, medyo okay lang naman.
Ayan. O sige, since...
See, I do it right pala. Yeah. I eat like a pro, guys.
Ayan, Coach, ikaw daw, any tips po?
I
guess
think
nutrition
definitely
din.
kung ano naman, nutrition tips, fueling, you have to treat food as fuel. Okay? Of course, kung ano man yung kainin mo, you're just gonna burn it. So if you want quality fuel, the same with what you place in a car, okay? Then that's the type of fuel that you will be able to use and utilize. So gusto mo ng faster burning, then definitely quality carbs that you can use. Okay? And staying away from the fried, definitely. But definitely kapag ano,
corn beef. Fried
definitely kapag nasa ride ka kasi pag pagod ka na, pag ka na kahit ano tatanggapin mo. And
pag durog ka na, kain ka na.
Oo.
And with that said, ako ilang beses akong nag-survive with ODAX with Coke. Okay, yung last 50 will always gonna be Coke for me. The sugar and caffeine will always cross me to the finish line if I do an ODAX ng, alam mo yun, parang just for the sake of joining with friends. Pero alam kong last 50 gagapang na ako. And usually, iniiwan na ako ng mga yan. So,
isa pang pro tip tingin ko related sa Coke. Yung Coke, syempre, para siyang sugar bomb, di ba? So parang pag nasa ride ka or nagko-control ka ng weight, ayaw mong mag-Coke or parang iniiwasan mo siya. Pero yung Coke is not just something to take energy. More of yung mental effect niya sa sarili mo, mas mataas siya kaysa dun sa energy na binibigay niya. Kaya usually sa mga mid-ride na feed zone, may maliit na bottle ng Coke kasi syempre yung Coke is parating parati siyang connected sa refreshment, yung parang yung Coke na di ba? Yun mismo eh. So pag tinake mo siya,
Paano?
baka makawa tayo ng Coke dito dapat magbayad na sila. So ang point ko parang more of may effect din siya mentally na para ka nare-refresh mid-ride. So yung sinasabi ni Sol na pagtapos ka na, yung talagang nasa dulo ka na ng yung mauubos na yung mitya ng energy mo sa ride. Yung Coke talagang lifesaver siya. Or Pepsi kung ikaw bahala kung Mountain Dew, yung mga old school na pinakaso. Mountain Dew, RC, Sarsi.
Coach Raul is asking, Coach Sol, what's your take on keto diet for endurance athletes?
Yun.
Okay. I think that's kind of controversial. Hi, Coach. Kind of controversial, I'd say. I think a better person to ask that would be a nutritionist. But ako, on an XFIS standpoint, I'm not a firm believer of a pure keto diet, especially I think there's a place for high fat, okay? Or I would always call it fasted state, okay? The fasted state will always be on base miles, low intensity, kahit weekends. I would always, sakto tayo with talking about, shout out sa mga colleagues ko and my students who are either watching right now. Okay, endocrine tayo tomorrow. So talking about hormones and carbs and others. Ang tawag mo dito. Definitely, you need that fuel. Keto is gonna be fat. So yes, in terms of efficiency, fat is a very efficient energy source. But for high intensity riding, for example, then I'm not a firm believer of that. Sorry, personal. That's me personally. Okay, but in terms of, for example, maybe on a ultra endurance events, maybe like ultra Ironman or full Ironman, then it might. Some people have been working well for them, so it's good for them. But definitely, if you want that surge, and for example, competitive cycling, carbs pa rin siya. And you look at documentaries, you see pros eating rice cakes. Okay, so Rice's life, definitely for high intensity, long duration work.
Ito Bubbles and Coach, I guess. Good evening from Patrick Nitro. Pangalan pa lang mabilis na, guys.
Mabilis na.
Nitro.
Ingat tayo dyan, ha? Ingat.
Any advice sa mga may nagbabalak sumali sa triathlon? So, I guess for beginners.
Train for it. Don't believe people when they say that they did not train for any of the races. It's not true. My God. Okay, so when people say that they did not train or for a race, please don't believe them. For you to be able to actually finish a triathlon takes a lot of dedication and training.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most important. You really have to. It doesn't matter what bike you have, what shoes you wear. What's important is that you train, because you may have the fastest bike, but if you do not train, then you might not be able to finish. So it's really all about the training. But when it comes to shoes, I wear On, and my bike is Trek. Kailangan na yung segue yun.
Oo naman. Hindi, ano naman talaga eh. Parang, if you don't train, you're not gonna, diba?
Yeah,
you have to start from somewhere.
You really train so that you can survive, and you can survive the race and be able to get to the finish line with a smile. So I think that's what's important. And yeah, so you have to train so that your body is used to it, because if you don't train, then after the swim you're so tired, then how are you going to be able to bike after that? So and also transition is life, guys. Transition. I have Coach Raul. Raul is the person who taught me how to transition. So oh my gosh, guys, today is the anniversary. By the way, today is my tri-anniversary. My God.
Congrats.
So 4 years.
Congrats.
4 years ago was my first triathlon.
Actually, alam namin yun. Kaya
Sinusto talaga namin. Yung mga researcher namin dito, yun yung data. So.
When I joined it, biglaan lang din. As in, like, I just gave my coaches 3 weeks or 2 weeks, I think. So I had no idea what was happening. And then the day before, Raul asked me, he goes, Bob's race mo na bukas. Marunong ka ba mag-transition? And I go, no, what's that? So he taught me. And transition, if you're gonna do the triathlon, you have to practice transition also.
Mm-hmm.
So don't take it for granted, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think in terms of yung mga endurance sports, yung mga triathlon, cycling, mountain bike, or syempre yung mga cross country na racing, isa siyang event na truthful and honest, dahil kapag hindi mo kaya, hindi ka makakarating sa dulo, hindi mo talaga kaya. So it's something na kailangan mo talagang paghandaan truthfully. Kahit sabihin mo, kahit sabihin mo sa mga kasama mo na, wala akong ensayo eh. Pero kung nag-i-ensayo ka talaga at pinaghahandaan mo yung event ng maayos, and respect mo yung distance, yung environment, yung community, dapat makarating ka sa dulo kung pinaghandaan mo. So, yun yung isa kong natutunan sa endurance sports. Sobrang honest niya sa lahat ng kasali.
Ayan,
yeah, I think that's, bubudulin at bubudulin mo ang sarili mo. It's important respect the distance nga, because a lot of people, they're just like, parang binabaliwala, and sometimes you don't know if they're just trying to impress you or make yabang, or they're really, diba? Or they're really disrespecting the distance.
I'm sure they were just trying to impress you, Bob.
I'm not gonna get impressed if you tell me that you did not train tapos ang bagal-bagal mo, my God.
Guys, yan. Ganun na-impress si Bubbles, kailangan mabilis kayo at nag-train kayo. Diba?
Yeah. Is it okay to drink energy drinks like Monster or Red Bull before the ride or joining the event? Coach Saul, I think that's for you.
I'd say in moderation, but I'm not a big fan of energy drinks kasi. So I would go with coffee. That's my coffee ride. But if you will that you need, pero just do it with caution.
Pero ang problema sa energy drinks, minsan may crash eh.
May crash.
Yeah.
May
Tingin ko
crash
mas swak yung energy drink for siguro
Vodka.
yung mga Jaeger bomb, gano'n.
Jaeger.
Jaeger bomb na lang.
Hindi, I mean yung energy drinks like yung Monster, malaking bottle siya, yung Red Bull siguro mas okay for yung tail end ng ride mo or mid ride, tingin ko at least yung nasa tail end na, kasi if mag-crash ka man, at least nasa bahay ka na. And kaya lang nangyayari usually yung crash kasi parang biglang sabog ng sugar eh.
It's very high in caffeine also.
Yun, caffeine.
Vitamins,
pang tapos mo na lang siya. Pero before ride siguro, yun, tama si Sol, coffee and warm up.
Definitely.
May friend ako nag-Red Bull kasi during a ride. He knocked out and nag-Nuvali sila. So, puyat siya, nag-Red Bull siya. Pauwi siya from Nuvali. Nagising na lang daw siya, nasa kotse siya sa harap ng gate nila. He passed out. He knocked out.
Autopilot.
Pero imagine mo kung nangyari yun sa'yo. Driving home or mid-ride or...
Feeling ko may halo yung energy drink niya na iba.
Especially most of the energy drinks are like super high in sugar eh.
Yes.
May crash talaga. Or even some of the gel. Di ba may ibang gel may crash din eh. So you really have to find kung saan kahiyang. Di ba? Kung ano yung okay sa'yo. So I guess, kayo ba ganun, Bob? If you're training, that's...
I train even for what gel I'm gonna take. So I found I had to buy organic, but the gels for organic. I had to buy organic gels, and then some has caffeine, some would not have, because of course when you're racing, you don't want everything with the 25 milligrams of caffeine, or actually some of them are like 100 milligrams. So that's a whole cup of coffee. So I only take that like at the start, and then I go down to the ones that don't have. Because I'm afraid of crashing or, tapos na yung race. So my first 10-kilometer race before, fun run, syempre, like newbie. So I think I took like 4 gels. 4 gels for 10 km. So by the time we were having breakfast, I was so wired. I was shaking. So it's a Bambi. Hello, TMPP. Sorry for the shameless plug it. No, don't be sorry.
Yeah, what's up? Triathlon Marketplace.
I shared our live feeds.
Thank you.
Oh, nice. So taking gels, I think, you know what? I have so much gels nga because we're not racing anymore. I really want to race na para maubos ko na siya. Sayang,
oo. But do you take the stuff you mix with your water, like Vitargo or...
I take all of that, but only for training. So now that it's all just coffee rides, then I don't. I just really drink water. Kasi, so during this whole lockdown, I took up, of course, I'm the type kasi that I really need to be productive. I can't just lie down and watch TV. I actually only I only bought a TV last month after 8 years of not owning a TV.
Oh, wow.
So, for me kasi TV just causes unproductivity, and I don't like that. I'm really weird, guys. Lumalabas naman sa weirdohan ko. So I'm really weird like that. So during the lockdown, I decided to take up sports nutrition.
Oh, wow.
So I got a certification for sports nutrition. So because of that, my whole my eating habits changed. So before, every time I'm on the bike, gummy bears na yan. Like I always have, and you've seen this, Mars, di ba? I have my gummy bears in my pockets, and I just start munching on the gummy bears as soon as I hit the road. Gummy bears na ako. But because of the sports nutrition course, then I learned that, like what Coach Sol said, food is your fuel. So what kind of fuel are you going to put into your body? So it has to be something of quality. Like if you're gonna put in, as endurance athletes, we need to put in carbs. But what kind of carbs are you gonna put in? If you're gonna put in food, what kind of food? So it's not just any kind of food. You really have to think about what kind of food you're gonna put in. So because of that, I had to throw out all of my junk food. My gosh, it hurt.
So wala na tayong gummy bears pag nag-ride tayo.
Wala na akong gummy bears. I'm so
Wala
sorry.
na.
None na.
Malunggay yung bibigay sa'yo.
Malunggay tsaka quinoa, gano'n.
Honey, ganyan. I just have honey.
Vlad's Ragindin. Ma'am Bubbles, nakailang podium finish na po kayo sa triathlon? Top age grouper na pala. Ayan. Dahil hindi ka nagtitraining.
I don't know. Wait, I don't know. Should I count?
Madami din na.
Madami. Basta madami, guys.
Marami.
I don't know. Sorry.
Ayun. Ano to? Nasaan yung tanong na nawala
Legit question. Will you still ride for Atom General Tavira Maria Nova Hotel next year, 2021 pa ako?
Well, sana. We've been talking with a lot of directors, of course, para malaman kung ano yung options, ano ba nangyayari dahil as we all know, very unusual yung taon ngayon for everybody, hindi lang sa cycling. And syempre lahat ng plans for 2020 hindi natin nagawa. So hopefully yung general feel ng buong pro peloton is magko-continue lang lahat sa team for next year. So hopefully makakuha tayo ng contract soon and ma-confirm natin.
Ito, from Christian John Agcol. I was lucky to have a pick with Miss Bubbles in my first 70.3 in Cebu 2018. Doon pa lang worth it na yung training. Honey!
Grabe!
Buti na lang naka-lipstick siya, guys. Kasi
talaga, consistent ang lipstick and lashes. Guys, I just came from Brow House this afternoon. So, ang ganda ng lashes and eyebrows ko right now.
Happy birthday, Monique. Birthday ni Monique ngayon.
Yeah, birthday ni Monique. So, yeah, I had my lashes done in her shop.
So, Bob, ano nang plano mo? When's your next race? Hindi, I mean,
well, I'm Tito Rico is watching. I'm registered for Davao, so I just deferred. So because they asked for like a refund or deferral, of course I'm gonna race Davao. I love the Ironman 70.3 Davao. So I think it's gonna push through because some races are happening already in the States. So hopefully it's Ironman 70.3 Davao in March. So I'm gonna have to kind of start training maybe by October. Have to start swimming and running again. Biking, I've been biking with them, so okay lang. But the swimming and the running, I have to kind of start from scratch. But yeah, hopefully. Oh, yes, ayan. Yes, teachers ko. Alvea 70.3 Davao. You know it. Siyempre, support tayo dyan. So, oo.
So, paano yung ganyan? Sorry. Paano yung ganyan? So now, like, we haven't trained for like regularly trained for 5 months. How do you get back into training for, paano yan? Paano yung load mo yan? Paano yung...
I depends on my coach. So this will all depend on Coach Pao. He will know the science. Coach Pao, I love him. He's like a super geek. He has the science behind everything that he would make us do. Because, okay, you know how sometimes, especially me as a girl, or Coach Sol, you know this, you have students who are like, why am I doing this? Like, di ba sometimes ang dami naming question. Di ba? Na minsan kahit parang ayaw mo na lang sagutin. So si Coach Pao, all of us, his students, especially the young ones, would always ask, like, why? Parang, but why? 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 So he would always have an answer. Like, he would always have not just an answer, a scientific answer. It's not just, no, if you do this, it will make you strong. It's like, it's a whole scientific answer na ikaw yung mapapag niya na ayaw mo nang makinig, nagsasalita pa siya ng answer niya. So So when I get back to training, it's all Coach Pao is
Pusa.
Cut
What?
crossing.
Parang pusa ba yun?
So Coach, madami lang yung pusa ko. So Coach Pao will be the one to create my program. So 5 months rest. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. I'm sure he would create a program for me. So I don't know. I just follow. I get OC with. This is the thing. I also get OC with Training Peaks. It has to be green. If it's like yellow, it has to be green. I get so OC. So
Yeah.
yeah.
May may technique yun.
Pwede mo
para
naman
mag-green.
edit ata.
Ano ba, edit eh.
Yeah. May priorities kasi yun eh.
No,
Yung
you're
priority
cheating
metrics.
yourself. Oo.
There's priority metrics with Training Peak. So the priority ones is duration, and then second priority is TSS, and then the third priority would be distance. Okay, so if you nail the top two, which is duration and TSS, then you're gonna get a green. So that's the technique there. We want to nail it.
Oh.
Definitely nail the duration first, and then
Yeah.
second would be TSS.
So Bambi said, please introduce the kitten. Okay, so guys, this is my new kitten. I have a bigger cat, but this is the newer one. This is Frodo. He is named after Jan Frodeno, who is a 3-time Ironman world champion.
Oh.
Yes, that's how much of a triathlete I am.
Yeah.
So
And
he's
Sir
named
Bambi.
after one of the best. Yeah. Paco, who though is your coach? Team coach or personal coach?
Coach, si Robert McCarthy, Irish na national team member for the past few years. Max Cycle Coaching. Ewan ko kung nasan, I think nasa Australia siya ngayon, but yun yung coach ko. Meron din kaming team coach, of course, pang yung more of sports director, more of yung pag-organize ng mga races, kung sino yung fit na rider for what race, etc.
Ayun. Oh, wait guys. Overtime na tayo. Ang bilis na mga, hindi ko napansin.
Well, how long is this supposed to be ba?
Usually 1 hour lang kami, hanggang na 8 to 9. Pero kung gusto niyo tuloy.
Ang dadal natin. Wait, Cassie Andrew Vertusio is asking if I'm compete a full Ironman. Okay, so the original plan is that I was either gonna do a full IM this year or next year. But because, this whole year has been a pause, it's a pause in the whole triathlon career. So, and now that running a 5K is a bit of a struggle for me. So let's see when I'm going to do a full IM, because I would always tell Kuya Kim this. I'd always tell him I'll do a full IM when I'm comfortable in a 70.3. And 2019, it showed how I was already it's still hard, but I just found a little bit of comfort. Like, it wasn't as it's still challenging, but it wasn't super as deadly as the previous years. So I thought maybe this year or next year I can do a full IM na. But now I'm back to zero. So let's see. Maybe when I turn 40. It's a long way. A long way. Long way.
Matagal ka pa magte-train, may oras ka pa. Matagal pa yung training mo. So kailan na next ride mo, Bubbles, para pati kanila abangan sa labas?
My what? Next ride?
Kailan na next ride? Hindi,
I don't
ride.
know. So I'm ride out. I'm always spontaneous when I ride. So it just depends. Sometimes kasi, so I always ride with Tito Rico there. Si Rico Manuel. I'm always riding out with him, and sometimes on the day off I just text him, "Hi, I'm not gonna ride today." Or sometimes the day before I'm just like, "Okay, I'm gonna join you." So there's nothing's planned. I just ride when I feel like it. So right now I just go by feel. So when I feel like riding, I ride. Like the other day, oh my gosh, guys, don't judge me. If anyone saw me, I think this was yesterday, don't judge me. So I went out on my tri bike at noon. Yeah, this was yesterday. wearing my yoga clothes, sports bra and short shorts. But I was on tri shoes and a tri bike, and I was riding around BGC and Makati. Naka-aero pa ako. Because it was because I was too lazy to change into cycling clothes. I'm so sorry. I was too lazy to change into cycling clothes, and I wanted a nice tan, hence the sports bra. Because I mean, ninyo, or like what Paco is wearing now, when that creates a tan line.
Oo. So paano mga, kasi we asked last week, we had Monica on the show, and she's a model then. So we asked her, how do you deal with the tan lines when it comes to work? So I'm sure because you have work na syempre kailangan kunyari formal, naka-gown ka, kita yung arms mo na may tan line.
Yeah.
What do you do?
No, so when I know I have work like that, I usually wear sleeves.
Okay.
So that there's no tan line. Or I just try to even it out with a nice swim. Like I'm gonna swim at noon so that I get darker, but the tan line is gonna be hidden. Or I just go under the sun. Because I tan so easily. So yeah, I just try to even it out right away. Wear a bikini under the sun, pantay na. Yun.
Oh guys, magbikini
So
daw
Mars,
kayo
magbikini ka under the sun.
bukas. Para pumantay. Hayop.
Para
Bumalik pa
pumantay.
Ano to? Patrick Nitro. Ayan, baka para si Patrick Nitro ulit. Ask ko lang po, my bike has an aero bar on it and has a DIY aero wheels. But every time nag-aero position po, is it normal to feel na parang nawawala po yung resistance? Teka, paano ka gumawa ng DIY na aero wheels? Okay, pa-share. Teka, paano yun?
DIY aero wheels, tingin ko yun yung may parang plastic cover
may
na nilalagay sa
disc, may disc.
DIY disc. Okay.
Parang nagiging disc yung
Okay. Akala ko pwede ka gumawa ng aero wheels. Paano ba yan? Nakikita yun,
Doon tayo lahat na curious.
Doon tayo. Paano ba gumawa ng DIY? Bakit nawawala yung resistance?
Ayan.
Oh, yes daw, yes. So it's a aero cover. Definitely most likely sa rear, no? I have a wheel cover din kasi to make it to a disc. Definitely, it's the position. In your air attack position, you have lesser frontal area. So mas less yung surface area mo slicing through the wind. So yeah, might as well help on that position.
Okay.
If you mean resistance ng pagpajak, nasa position din yun. Kasi mas naka-forward ka sa saddle and yung weight mo mas nasa harap. So,
forward. So mas less yung sa likod.
Yun.
Ayan, is it good or bad po?
It's definitely good.
Good, yeah.
And 2/3 of your drag is from the body, and only a third is from the bike itself. So if your body position is off on a TT position, then definitely the resistance is high. So that's why most likely if your position is good, then bababa talaga yung resistance field, which is good.
Tapos mag-yoga ka para mas ganda yung position.
Yan,
Kailangan mag-try ka rin mag-yoga para
Yeah.
you have to ride it fast.
You have to ride it faster.
Yeah. Tsaka mag-train ka without telling anyone. Tapos kung mag 16 to 20 hours a week ka parang si Bubbles, post mo lang mga 1 hour worth of. Kunyari,
ibahin mo yung pangalan mo sa Zwift.
Make your workouts private on Strava.
Yan ang
I mean, gano'n na. Sa inyo pa ako sa ibang pros, they were looking at segments ng ibang pro and they look at, example, they can compute kasi. So kung ano yung power output mo dito sa segment na to, okay, ano yung weight, then they can classify it, then that's gonna be a sneaky way to check your competition currently. Okay, so I know someone, a pro triathlete with a triathlon coach and a time trial coach, and what they did with the competition was they looked at all of the triathletes and they will join the target, and they looked at Strava and tinignan nila lahat, and they know their splits. Okay, they now know that this triathlete will hammer this section, blah, blah. They made a strategy out of it. So we can really geek out with the technology. So we really want to hide your numbers, you can start with Strava.
That's why I always put my rides in private or only for followers. My gosh. See, it's competitive people like this because I know how competitive people can get because I'm the same. Like I have this app on my phone that shows everyone's finish time on Ironman 70 on Ironman branded races.
Yeah,
So if you
yeah.
tell me that you're fast, like, oh my god, sometimes like I'm out in a club and then someone's like, yeah, I did triathlon also. Na parang, what? Or they're like, yeah, I did sub 5 eh. So I get my app, I type in their name, and then girl, hindi naman pala. Parang ano ba? Don't
So,
lie. There's an
so,
app for it.
so may added pickup lines na sa'yo pag sa club. Oy, I did
Girl,
sub
oh,
5.
pick up line.
Siguraduhin yung sub 5
Coach,
kaya talaga
Coach Paul.
kapag...
Oo, sometimes pick up line nila, nag-marathon daw sila, nagganyan, and then when I ask, okay, so how fast did you finish? Or, yeah, like 3:28. And how like a 3:28 runner would look like, right? No.
Yan.
Wag mo!
Sa next show natin, Bobs, mag-guest ka ulit. Gusto namin marinig ang triathlete pickup lines. Pag
Oh.
kung paano yung mga, so, do you 70.3 or do you just...
Diba? Oo. So have
Oo.
you done an Ironman? My gosh, one time someone pa told me he did daw also an Olympic distance race. And I was like, okay. And he's like, yeah, it's so hard, yeah, because I did Spartan before that. And I mean, we know people who did Spartan before the an Olympic distance race, and they all admitted that they suffered after, right? Because they're so sore. And this guy, my God, is like, sabi ko, okay, what's your finish time? Because I just saw him. Like, I was grabbing coffee here in BGC. I was grabbing coffee. And then, parang he just approached me and whatever. So I was just trying to be nice and answered. And then he goes, he was like, oh yeah, I raced it also after doing Spartan. I was like, okay, so how was your race? And he goes, bagal ko nga eh. 1:39. Girl, the overall winner was 2:01. How could you be 1:39 if the overall winner was slower? Like,
Yun.
Hindi kasama yung run.
Baka nag-relay siya.
baka naman bike, like, I don't know, but oh my gosh, just don't lie.
Yeah.
My God.
Mukhang naglalabasan ng mga pickup lines. Ayan, Bambi. So, do you work at Toby's? Because you're sporting the goods, Hane. Yan tayo eh. Diba?
Wait, last na po, what's your craziest or funniest crash? Is this for Paco or is this for me?
Lahat siguro sa...
Siguro tayo.
Okay. Sige, I'll start. I think the crazy or the stupidest crash was my first ever one. So I was in Nuvali and then tatawa ko. Okay. So I always have my nails done, right? All of you daw. So I always have my nails done. So one time I was biking. I was on Aero. And then I looked at my nails and I was like, oh, my nails are so pretty. I started admiring my nails because Skittles, I made it Skittles colored. So it was pastel. Ay, wala. It was Skittles, it was pastel colored, iba-iba. And then so I was like, oh, so pretty naman my nails. And I realized I was not wearing gloves. So, bigla I was like, oh, wait, where are my gloves? So I looked up, trying to recall where I put my gloves. And I didn't know. I mean, what do you call the egg
Speed bump.
beaters?
The speed bumps. The egg beaters. Egg.
So guys,
In Tagalog,
So the speed-
pangalog ng itlog. Yun.
so I didn't know the speed bumps were new. So I didn't know there was a speed bump. So I was like, where is it? So I hit the speed bump. So I flew off the bike and I just like slid over the road as if it were ice. So my jersey was ruined, my shorts were ruined, road rash, the whole side of this leg was, until now, there's a scar. So all of those. And then, so my friend was the one behind me. And when he saw it happen, the first question was, Bobs, are you okay? I was on the road. And then, yeah, so he said, my first question was, how's my bike?
Yeah.
As I was still lying down,
Pati yung nails.
on the road, ha. My first
Pati yung nails kung maayos pa.
Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh! So that was really it. I asked how my bike was, and when he was asking me how I was, I checked. I go, oh my god, I broke a nail. Yun yung una kong. Yun. It's so embarrassing when I have to tell it, but yeah, that was my concern. I broke a nail, and that I was gonna go to Boracay the next day, and I was sugat-sugat. So I think it's funny now, but it was really more stupid than funny. And that's my crush story. Okay, Mars, ikaw.
Akin, I think mine is like more. It was pretty stupid also. So I came from. I just got a bike. I had this bike before, which I just got that day. So syempre nag-trip ako, bumili akong single speed. Naka-fixie ako. So I got my fixed gear bike. Went to the club that evening. Did my gig. Syempre nakainom na ako, di ba? Pagdating ko sa bahay, syempre yung try ko kaya to iikot. So, straight from the club, wearing my club clothes, whatever, I ride out, I go, ikot akong C5, ganyan. Alam mo yung slowly na tinatamaan ka na nung yung tumatama na siya somewhere paglabas, shit, uwi na ako, kailangan ko na iuwi to. Pag uwi, in the village, papasok ng village, may isang turn, I turned it, the next thing I know, I'm on the ground, so I crashed na, and I'm like, same thing, parang, shit, yung bike, bago, first day. Tapos, syempre, excited lang ako, kaya nilabas ko. So, pagtingin ko sa bike, okay, walang gas-gas, pero yung kamay ko nakabaliktad.
Oh my God!
I broke my whole hand. Like, these two fingers were here na, nakadikit na siya sa arm ko. So, ko, shit, binalik ko na lang ng ganon. So, parang, yun. So, 3 months ako nakakast because of, okay, don't drink and ride, I guess. Yung take away from that whole thing. But,
don't drink and ride, yeah.
I had a cast for 3 months. Yun. Don't drink and ride. Like, yun. Ayan, pa ako. Crash.
Crash. Tingin ko sa race. May isang race dito na parang neutral part pa lang siya. So first 5K na wala pang racing na nagaganap. Tapos basically hinihintay nyo lang yung kilometer 0 nung race. Tapos before mag-start, as in right na nung nag-wave sila ng flag na game na, tsaka ako nag-crash. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. So sakto ako parang ano ba to? Start pa lang out na ako. Di pa ako nakapag-trabaho. Tapos, so bumalik ako sa bike. Apparently, okay yung bike. Okay naman lahat. Okay, may mga konting dugo-dugo pero wala nang time na mag-isip. So, nakabalik ako sa pack after 20 minutes na mag-isa. Kasi medyo matagal din pala ako nakahiga. Tapos, sakto, nung aabutan ko na sila, may maliit na breakaway. Nandun yung isa kong teammate. Tapos sabi ko, okay, sakto yung speed ko. Dinerecho ko, papunta doon sa breakaway. Tapos sabi nung teammate ko, oh, nandito ka na. Tapos sabi ko, okay lang ba yung helmet ko? Kasi feeling ko nakatabingi buong time. So, tinanong ko siya kung nakadiretso yung helmet ko. Tapos, yun yung nakakatawa kasi parang out na ako before pa lang mag-start. Crash ng bayan.
Crash ng bayan.
Si Sol yun.
Usapang sentro, marami yung medalya dyan. Kahit saan sa Metro Manila ata may lupa ako eh. Tawag ditong
sticker.
Pinaka craziest ko, wildest crash ko would be Tour of Masambong. I think 2004. Piestahan yun eh. Alam niyo naman piestahan ng 2020. na. So, swerte kami nung that day. We had a team crit sa C3 yata. And then, we won that. So, it was a winner-take-all. Yung sprinter namin, shout out to one of my best friends, si Christian Tan. So, we won that sprint. So, of course, first lang yung makakakuha nun. It was a team event. So, we won that. So, parang, we felt that buenas kami that day. So, after winning that crit in the morning, parang, may piyesta ulit. May piyesta sa Masambong. So, we had, of course, breakfast. And then, pagpunta namin sa Masambong, game time, dumayo pa yung ibang pros. So sabi ko, yari tayo dito, papalaban tayo. So we were during the race, lead group, and then I was trying to bridge the gap and tanaw na yung breakaway. So sabi ko sa mga teammates ko na lumilingon pa ako, and knowing Masambong, if you've joined Tour of Masambong, daming humps nun area, and it's a very tight, small roads of the barangay Masambong. And may humps. So part of the obstacle is of the race is yung humps. So luckily may mga ibang senior sa national team doon. And when that happened, I was glancing over to the group behind me to help me out bridge the gap. And unluckily naman, I hit one of the humps and yun. So knocked out ako. So putol yung isa kong ngipin, para akong sinuntok, binugbog ni Pacquiao, and I was hospitalized for like 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my weird, that was my pinakamalala ko. And of course, other than that, may mga, alam mo yun, ewan ko kung naramdaman to no others was still watching us. As you peak more, parang mas aggressive ka, parang invincible ka. So usually yan pag malapit na yung, based from experience, kapag magpipeak na yung fitness ko, mas aggressive ako on the bike back then. So, mas grabe ako. So, mas madalas akong sumisemplang when I'm peak. Pero kapag, alam mo, hindi ka ensayado, mas maingat ka eh. So, ngayon, learning my lessons back in the past, when I peaked or close to the races, mas maingat na ako.
Ayan, guys, mag-ingat kayo, okay, si Sem. Ingat-ingat lang kahit pag ensayado, mas careless ka na.
Yeah, parang you're one with the bike na kasi you really feel that all the hours saddle time, you really feel
one
the
with
bike.
the bike ka, one with the floor ka rin.
Eventually, hindi ka nag-ingat. Yes.
Hoy, late na guys, matutulog na tayo.
Matutulog na.
Ang nito. Teka lang. Any last pieces of advice for people who want to get into triathlon, yoga, meron ba silang any final advice?
No, for me, I think it's really just to start. Sometimes people will always say they will try to make time for it, or they'll see if they get the schedule, or all of these other excuses. But really, if you really want to try it, if you really want to do it, then you're just going to do it. You're just going to start. You're going to make time for it. You're going to find time for it. So, yeah, if you really want to do it, just do it. So, it sounds like an ad for Nike, but yeah. Miss Bubbles, did you experience, what's a boodle ride?
Yung lahat ng ride mo, Bob. Basically.
Okay, yeah. Boodle ride. Kung saan kami napupunta after, tapos 12 hours later, naghahabol na lang kami ng sunset. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, most of my rides are boodle rides.
I don't think you've ever had... I don't think you've ever done a non-boodle ride. Lahat yata ng ride mo, boodle, no?
Pwede ba ipagsabay ang love life sa training? Alam mo kung sasama sa'yo mag-training yung ka-love life mo, pwede.
Yan.
Siguro mo lang na hindi siya may insecure sa'yo.
Meron ka bang gustong bati on that note? meron ka bang gusto i-shout out?
No more na. No more na.
Ayan, i-shout out mo na lahat, sponsors? Anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, so sponsors. Thank you.
Yeah, before we go.
Of course, Trek, Dance PH. So Trek for my beautiful bikes, and on running for my shoes. Who else? Oh my gosh, I forgot my sponsors. But basically that. Brahos for my lashes. Nutropia for Well, I buy my recovery drink from them, but it's owned by my friend, so I'll just say it anyway. And forgot na who. Well, the most important ones are Trek anyway. Trek and On, and of course, so oh my gosh, Win Republic. So that's why I'm Team Win. I'm sponsored by Win Republic from the brand of Luke Mackenzie and Beth Mackenzie. So oh my gosh, guys, I'm friends with pros. My goodness.
You want to plug your yoga studio? Where can they, if they want to take yoga classes?
So if you want to take yoga classes, you can either just DM me on my Instagram account at Bubbles Paraiso. You can also take yoga classes. So my studio is Beyond Yoga. So if you go to our Facebook page, I Go Beyond Yoga, we also hold free classes there once in a while. It's like easy classes, around like 30 or 40 minutes. But if you want classes that are full on, like an hour, you can either, again, go to my classes, or for my studio, it's different teachers. It's I Go Beyond Yoga as well. And then you just inquire, and we can, and you can join for whatever teacher for the schedule that is given there. So yeah, there's a lot of classes that you can join. It's nice when it's interactive, so that the teacher can see you and the teacher can give corrections. Versus, I mean, I love YouTube videos, but especially if you're new, then you would want the teacher to be able to see you if you're doing it right or wrong, so that you don't injure yourself. Because people actually get injured in yoga. I dislocated my shoulder from yoga because low EQ. So yeah, you have to be careful.
I wear
Oakley. Thank you, Oakley. Thank you for reminding me.
Diba? Para
Yeah.
lahat ng kailangan pasalamatan na rin yan.
Tapos my nails are from the Secret Lounge. It's not the secret anymore now that I announced it.
Yeah. Ayan, Coach, kayo, meron ba kayong gustong pasalamatan? Pasalamatan natin sa Sir Bambi Triathlon Marketplace.
Yes. Thank
If you
you,
wanna
Sir
plug
Bambi of TMP. Of course, all those who tuned in today. Thank you guys, students, Endurance Lab cycling team who tuned in. Kay sila Jet, Cap, Vince, and the others. Of course, other students ko who are tuned in also. And my colleagues at UST who are tuned in. And definitely my partner, okay? Endurance, with my partner sa Endurance Lab, Coach Moy. And my partner with Douglas Hill Wines. Thank you, Rich.
Ayan. Pako.
Yep. Of course, syempre, thank you kay Bubbles na kasama natin siya ngayon.
Thanks, Bob.
Obviously,
Thanks,
nag-enjoy tayo ng
haba, longest
dahil mahaba.
Saya parang nag-inuman lang tayo.
May gusto lang ako balikan na sa comment kanina. Si Gerald Herradura. Sasali daw siya ng transatlantic na wala yung isang comment transatlantic something na 2,100 kilometers na non-stop, unsupported na long race. So, good luck sa'yo. At
I think they're starting tomorrow, no?
Sana 5 p.m. daw Philippine time bukas. So, good luck and ingat.
Wow.
Dala ng ilaw, dala ng pagkain.
Yes.
Yung mga nagdadasal ngayon, pagdasal nyo siya.
Dala ng lipstick.
Ayun lang. Sabi nga ni Monica last week, ang importante magpakita. So, I'm sure pag magpakita siya bukas, matatapos niya yung ride. So, good luck and stay safe. And thank you sa lahat ng nakikinig.
Yun. Ako naman, last, thank you. Specialized. May tanong si Sir Raul, how's the tarmac? Masaya siya. I'll post a video soon. And thank you, Specialized Philippines, Nike Philippines, Rudy Project, and Tumi. Thanks, guys. And this has been Coffee Ride. See you guys next week.